can be difficult in those early stages of perimenopause. I, thinking as a menstrual health coach, thought that in a way that I'd just sail through. I understood my hormones, really understand cyclical living. I viscerally feel and understand each phase of the menstrual cycle. I'm really good at supporting women to balance their hormones and come into balance on all levels. So I thought that knowledge would protect me and I'd be fine, but perimenopause proved me completely wrong. So you can still hear, I've still got a bit of the lurgy, so you have to bear with me. We're getting there, but not 100%. But I really wanted to share this wisdom with you this week. So for years before perimenopause, as I said, I'd already been supporting women. I'd helped women with PCOS, endometriosis, hormone imbalances, fertility, painful period cycle irregulation. I have my own community. I've taught cyclical living and hormone awareness to yoga teachers. So when perimenopause started creeping in, I just thought I'd be fine. And we had covered menopause and peri in my training. So I've done lots of different trainings focused on menstrual health, which is why I've become a holistic menstrual health specialist. But I kind of put a pin in it, thinking I've never wanted to teach anything where I'm not coming from an embodied space. So I was kind of thinking I'll go through perimenopause myself and then I'll start to teach about it. But I did start to touch on it just because I kept hearing about all the struggles that women were having. So I did want to share the wisdom, and I kind of didn't realise I'd already started myself. At the time when I first got into menstrual health, it was like for a health scare in my 30s. And so when hot flushes started showing up in my late 30s, I just thought I was a little bit young, even though we know that our hormones change from 35 onwards. And things really started to ramp up when my partner and I moved to France. Before we left, I'd had a few hot flushes, like I said. My mum said, "Do you think you're in menopause?" And I was like, "No!" How rude. But yes, I was. And yeah, we moved France, and obviously anybody know, like moving country is stressful. So there was added stress, new country, new life. And at the time I was starting my business, I was starting to build a website from scratch. So there was a lot going on. And yes, probably a little bit more wine and cheese. It'd be rude not to. And then my symptoms really started to spiral. So more hot flushes, and then I had this thing with itchy skin, so it would feel like my skin was crawling and itchy, and it happened mainly at night time, and then I'd start to get really hot and I couldn't sleep, so then you feel more tired and fatigued. My joints were a bit more achy and anxiety was just going through the roof. I also wasn't exercising as much as I normally would do. So I, combining all of that, what started to happen was it started to just escalate a little bit. And at the time also we had like a life situation was changing in ways I hadn't expected. And I think this is part of the peri journey. There is, as well as it being this bodily, scientific, there is also a rite of passage that we go through as women. So we'd moved to France in the dream of starting a family, homesteading, living a quieter life, but the reality turned out really different. I'm going to try and not check my phone because I'm just waiting for news about Kai coming out. So we'd moved to France with our big dreams. It'd been like 15 years of me talking about homesteading, living off the earth, doing life in this way. But like I said, when we got there, the reality was different. The situation with the property became difficult. And I realised it just wasn't for me or for us. And that was really difficult to receive. And I remember just being in meditation and being like to spirit, like, what do you want from me? We've planned this all out. We've spent years coming to this point. And this is a really good, I think, bit of golden nugget from kind of the spiritual lineages of, there's lots of teachings. You do your vision board and then you ask spirit for what you want. But actually, maybe sometimes it's about just opening up to receive. I feel like spirit, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, knows almost better than we do. So It's about opening up to understand what your highest truth would be. And I just kept hearing the ocean. I just kept seeing the ocean, hearing the ocean, seeing waves, which was quite funny at the time because we were like landlocked in France. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting time. So we made the very difficult decision to come back to England. And during that recalibration period, my symptoms were kind of on and off. And then over Christmas of that year, I had another strange symptom happen. And I have heard other menstrual health coaches saying they kind of got all the symptoms, and it's kind of, they feel, again, the universe's way of kind of giving them all of them so that they can support other women. So I developed vertigo, which again I'd never suffered with before. I had pain in my ear suddenly, and then the room was spinning, and I had it where I couldn't sleep at night because in my 20s it'd be like when you've had a drink and the room starts to go. So I had to literally just sit and kind of focus forwards. So I kind of, when I went to the doctors actually about it, he did say that it was something that I could have had forever. I was like, no, I'm okay, thank you. So as you know, I kind of decided that's it. I'm deep diving now into perimenopause. I'm going to find out all the wisdom. And it shocked me how little there actually was out there. I'd always, as a menstrual health coach, supported mainly in cyclical living, thought that menopause had already like got lots of wisdom there. So I wanted to support those in cyclical living. But actually, by the time I got to perimenopause, there still is like, there's hardly, I know people say, oh, it's a big topic now and there's lots out there. I don't think there actually is. There's not a lot to support us women. So working on myself and applying that wisdom to myself, I began to see shifts. So the beauty of it is let's be honest, holistic support isn't a quick fix. And if anybody tells you they've got you a quick fix, it's a lie. But it is possible to have lifestyle shifts that gives you that supports you for a long time, which when we think about it, perimenopause, menopause can be a 10-year journey. So it is supportive to get the education in so that you have that support for the long time. So I started to work with my body as a perimenopause woman rather than somebody cyclical living as such. And slowly things started to change. My vertigo improved, which was amazing because I couldn't even go to yoga. Moving my head through the yoga flow would make me dizzy. So, and I love yoga. So I had to really work on myself so that I could go back to yoga and be able to support myself in ways that support my well-being. Hot flushes reduced, my night sweat stopped, the skin stuff stopped as well, my joints felt better, and my weight balanced out. I had started to put on weight, which is fine, whatever weight you are, as long as you're happy, but I just started to feel a bit unfit. I just didn't feel like me. And then, yeah, as I started to make these lifestyle shifts, I came back to myself again, which was amazing, really. And again, it just blows my mind that obviously we're not all given this information at schools. I get really passionate about it and the sacred rage comes out because I'm like, if we had more education, then so many more women wouldn't be struggling. And then when we come to perimenopause, we need a different set of education and a different type of understanding, and again, so many women would not be struggling. Because I had a moment where I was thinking, if I'm struggling with this and I'm a menstrual health coach, how many other women are struggling? And then from going to menopause talks and being in yoga classes before I got the vertigo, and hearing people talking about, especially if you're not sure if you can take HRT, you don't want to take HRT, is there actually anything else out there for you? I've heard these conversations firsthand. So when I think about it, I always think, like, I've been trying to think of analogies of what can we compare it to? And one that I came up with is if you were starting a new job. So if you're starting a new job, you're given training, how to do it, having some previous knowledge and experience, and that's an expected thing. But menopause is like starting a brand new job and you're given nothing. So you have no training, no instructions, no tools, no previous knowledge of cyclical living, which can help understanding perimenopause, but we need still new education. and everyone just expects you to get on with it like what you're doing. It's basically like how we treat women in menopause. Some women will then obviously go to the doctors, and some women, don't get me wrong, do have great experiences now with the doctors, but obviously still some women don't have good experiences with the doctors, and I obviously hear a lot of these conversations through the work that I do. So what is frustrating as well, the most frustrating part is the things that help us the most aren't extreme. They're simple, foundational lifestyle shifts that support in the everyday, and it's simple things that have the biggest effect and impact on our world, support our relationships, support us being able to carry on with work, support us to live that lifestyle that we want. And actually, when we understand what's going on in our body, we're more happy to make those lifestyle shifts because we understand why we're doing it. I think it's difficult. There is information online, like little snippets of things, or have this supplement, but from all my work that I've done as a menstrual health coach, I really struggle to believe that one supplement is going to support that woman. We need that deeper education to understand what's going on, and every woman is bio individual and needs their own kind of tools that help them to move through. Hormone sensitive women may have had a journey of menstrual health stuff happening in their world, so by the time they come to perimenopause, they're fatigued, they're fed up. They don't want to go on this whole other journey again of, like, they've got PTSD from not understanding symptoms and having to go to the doctors, and then to have to do it all again with a lack of education, not understanding. It's just not good enough. We all need this education. So anyway, I will get off my soapbox. It just frustrates me because, as I said, what we can do as women actually is simple things, and the education can make a huge difference in someone navigating this journey. So this week I'm going to be sharing more about perimenopause, as I said. Tomorrow I'm talking about something really important as well, why perimenopause actually feels harder for modern women. I don't know about you, but you hear it a lot, and God knows what previous generations did, because there was even less wisdom and education. I don't know if maybe there wasn't so many struggles, but today it feels like the struggle is real, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Next Sunday, I'm hosting a free masterclass, my first free masterclass around perimenopause, where I'll be sharing the roadmap that helped me to go from feeling like a perimenopause wreck to myself again. And it's not just me that it's worked for. I've done this with other women, and it's worked for them too, and I'm going to be sharing it with you. So if you would like to join, you will find the link in the post or the comment, or it will be somewhere. If you can't find it, just comment and say you'd like to come, and I will send it to you. If you have anything that you're going through right now, you can resonate with my journey and you just would love to share, you can either pop it in the comments or do feel free to DM me. I know these are sensitive topics for women, so if you want to send me a personal message, then I will respond, and I'm happy to receive those. But yes, I will see you tomorrow, and have a lovely rest of your day.